Grab your drinks and have a seat. It's time for serial killers.
Hello.
Welcome to It's Hot as Balls in Here.
And it's echoey as shit.
Well, we told you guys it would get better. And
It's
we
not.
lied.
It's not right
Well,
now. It's not. It's not.
We've officially moved. As you guys know by the last podcast, we were recording in our son's room, and he had posters and stuff up on the wall. Well, we got the podcasting room sort of set up. We got items in it to where we could sit down and podcast, but we do not have things on the wall yet.
So it's very
It
echoey.
is very echoey.
So if you hear the echo, I'm so sorry. We're just trying to get ourselves situated, and it's really hard to podcast in our son's room because we have to hold the microphones. Now we have a little setup. We got our chairs, we got our table, we got our boom mics. So we were going to give it a try, but by golly, I can hear the echo and it's driving me nuts. So this will be the one and only episode that we are in this room if we have nothing on the walls. I would rather hold them in my hand.
There will be stuff on the walls before our next podcast, and it will sound a lot better. And just for shits and giggles, we may post a picture of what our setup looks like so everybody can see where the magic happens.
Sure. And we also have the dog in here, one of them, because she's old and this move has been hard on her. And so she has to be constantly glued to me. So if you hear whining, I apologize, but I try to cut it out as much as possible. But anyways,
Let's
get into it. I'm T.
And I'm Jay.
And we are here to tell you about serial killers. So if you've never listened to us before, that's what we focus on, serial killers. If you don't want to hear about serial killers, turn it off now. And actually, we also talk about what we're drinking. Most of the time it's coffee. However, I'm going to tell you right now, it is not today.
No.
Because we were recording this very late at night. Well, late for us at night. So, Jay, what are you drinking today?
Well, I've got some leftover zero sugar cherry Pepsi from dinner, so I'm just polishing that off.
Nice. And I am actually drinking water. But I'm drinking water in my special glitter cup that I made that says Killer Summer Vibes. And it's all the, what do you call those, villains? I don't know.
Yeah,
what you
they're
call
like
them.
the main Halloween characters.
Yeah, it's like Chucky and
Jason
and who's
Freddy
that?
Krueger and
Not Freddy Krueger.
the guy from It.
Not Freddy Krueger.
I don't know. I can't see what's on the very end over there.
That's Jason. The guy in the middle is Michael Myers.
Yeah, Michael Myers.
And so it's like a summer one, and it's all glittery, and I made it, and that's what I'm drinking my water out of. So you're welcome. Before we start this episode, I'm letting you know that I did not do this on purpose, but trigger warning. This is like the 17 millionth in a row of trigger warnings. So apologies.
Yeah, we've had a lot lately.
I just randomly pick serial killers out of my books, and well, they're all kind of shitty. So this one is actually just a trigger warning because this episode will talk about the rape of women. This is a serial rapist and serial killer, but I do not go into any details at all. There is not even there's not even an iota of detail about the rape. So if this is not something you want to listen to, totally fine. I guess check in with us in the next episode and see if this next episode will not be a trigger.
We won't have.
I will trigger warn anything that has to do with any sort of sexual assault or children. So for some reason, these last 5 episodes, that's how it's been. But if you think you can stick through it, I would highly say, hey, hang with us, because I don't go into major detail about anything. But suit yourself. I'm okay if you want to try to catch us next week. That being said, episode 120. That's what we're on.
Yeesh.
We are talking about Moses Sithole. Now, before I go any farther, I'm gonna spell out his name for you really quick. It's Sithole. I most definitely pronounced it Sithole the entire time I did the research. And then I'd laugh and say, it's like a shithole. And then I looked it up and said, oh, it's not even, it's Sithole. That's how you say it. So you're welcome. So that's who we're talking about. Moses Sithole. His nickname is the ABC Murderer, also known as the Gauteng Killer. He has 38 victims.
Damn.
You say damn?
Or more.
30, maybe, but you say 38 victims. Oh, damn. How about oh, damn, because they were from 1994 to 1995.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That's like damn near. I mean, we got 52 weeks in a year. That's like close to one a week.
Yeah.
The location of his murders were Pretoria, Gauteng, South Africa. And his method of murder was strangulation. And his characteristic of his murders is he is a serial rapist. Now, Moses was born November 17th, 1964 in South Africa. And the neighborhood that he was born into and lived in was a relatively poor area. A lot of poverty in this area. Now, his father dies when he's 5 years old, and not too soon after that, his mom cannot afford to take care of her children. She has 5 children total, and she abandons both him and his brothers and sisters, and they end up living in an orphanage. Now, the children live in the orphanage for quite some time. Moses himself actually lives there for 3 years. While he's there, he claims actually that there was mistreatment during those 3 years that he lived there. However, there's never been any sort of specifics beyond that. So I am not sure if it's physical abuse, mental abuse, verbal abuse, sexual abuse, or not abuse at all and just malnutritioned or not fed or like, is it Little Orphan Annie style of shit? I don't know. I'm not sure. The reason he only spends 3 years there is because he actually ends up running away from the orphanage and ends up going back to his mother. His mother is like, oh, it's so nice that you're here. I'm sending you back to the orphanage. So he gets put back in the orphanage, and then he actually runs away again and ends up getting out permanently and lives with his oldest brother. So his oldest brother is old enough at least to take care of his younger brother. Apologies, my voice sounds like shit. I choked on water today and I'm like...
Somebody forgot how to be human.
Like my voice sounds all like raspy and gruff. I sound like a man. Apologies, but I don't know. I tried to die today, so it's fine. So while he's living with his brother, he actually works in a gold mine, and he also works on farms in Johannesburg. Then in 1989, Moses is arrested for rape and ends up being sentenced to 6 years in prison for this. Now, 1989, that means that he's 25 years old when this happens. And he maintained his innocence the entire time. He said that he was falsely accused. He said that he didn't do anything. And the entire time he was in prison, he maintained that he was innocent. He actually is released from prison in 1993 for good behavior. If you're doing the math, he was put in 1989 and he was taken out in 1993. He was given 6 years. Do the math. He got 4 years. He served 4 years. I still don't understand why we're letting people out for sexual assaults and rape and pedophilia early. I don't understand that concept. He was described as a charming, handsome man by pretty much everybody who knew him. And this actually made it a lot easier for him to get to his victims because he would come in, charm these ladies, be super friendly to him. What he would do is he would lure women to him. The victims that he had were between the ages of 18 and 45. Now, most of the time, what he would do is he would lure them to him by promising them a job at a fake company that he had created. And this fake company was called Youth Against Abuse. So it's definitely a company that most people would want to help and be a part of.
Yeah, who wouldn't want to help that?
Exactly. And so he would bring these women in, he would do interviews with them and everything. Everything seemed like it was extremely legit, like it was a legit opportunity. And he was basically offering these women a job at his fake company to do receptionist work or to work in the company. Now, once he would go through his quote unquote interview process, the women would start to feel more comfortable with him because, again, he was charming. He was nice. He had a company that was helping victims of abuse that were young. Once they were fully invested, he would then say, may I take you to the company? Because they would meet up somewhere that was not the company. And then he'd say, okay, well, may I take you to the company and show you the company? And of course, the women would be like, absolutely. So then he would take them through a field because, you got to get to the company through the field. And as soon as they were out of sight from the public and nobody could hear them, he would then beat, rape, and strangle the women. He would move between 3 different cities as he would do this. Like he would move to 3 different cities and he would rape and strangle and beat these women. That would be between Atteridgeville, Boksburg, and Cleveland. And again, these are in South Africa. So these are where he is going. Hence the name, the ABC murders, because of Atteridgeville, Boksburg, and Cleveland. Now, police from the differing areas, they start to notice that there are some major similarities between the victims they are finding in each of these areas. So police in like Boksburg would reach out to police in Cleveland and be like, well, this is strange because this woman, we found her. There's a lot of similarities between her death and her death. And so they pretty much start to realize like, okay, we might have a serial killer on the loose. And of course, at this time, this area is starting to freak out because these women, as I said, there's 38 women in a 1-year period. So people are noticing. And no, these are not prostitutes. This is not one of those things where it's these prostitutes that people are like, oh, they're just missing. These were like legit non-sex workers who were meeting up with a man to try to get a job. So when they end up dead, it goes more noticed, I feel like. It even came to a point where the president at the time of South Africa, so Nelson Mandela, he actually had asked for the public to cooperate so they could apprehend the suspect and like put a stop to these killings. By 1995, the victims count had reached over 30 women, which of course, again, leads to panic across the whole entire country. They're all freaked out because they don't know who's doing this. They have not been able to figure it out. They just know that these women are dying at a rapid rate. Then in August of 1995, police are able to actually link Moses to one of the victims. So a witness was able to identify. They came forward and they gave a description and they said, I saw this man. He was with one of your victims. Gave a description. They realize it's Moses. They're pretty sure they know who it is. So police end up, as they're researching about Moses, they discover that he also has a fake business and that he had a past conviction of rape. So they were like, this might be the guy that we need to talk to. However, when they go to get him and go find him at his home,
he's not there.
He's not there. Moses has now been on the run. Now, a little bit later that year, he contacts a journalist. He tells the journalist, I'm the one. I'm the one that's killed all these people. He also tells the journalist that he claimed to have murdered 76 people at that point. So he's telling this journalist, not only am I the one who did this, but there are 76 bodies. So you guys are saying it's in the 30s. You're wrong. He also says, to prove to you that I'm the killer, let me give you some details as to where these bodies are hidden. And he tells the reporter where some bodies could be hidden. Now, not all of Moses's victims have been identified to this day, they've been found and unburied, but they have not have identifications to who they are. But I can tell you the ones that have been identified. And so pay attention when I'm telling you these, how close these dates are. So July 16th, 1994, 18-year-old Marina Monama was killed. August 6th, 1994, 26-year-old Amanda Thieth, she was also murdered, and it is claimed that she was in a relationship with Moses at the time of her murder. So he might have killed his girlfriend at that point. On August 19th, 1994, Joyce Mashabella, she was 32. September 7th, 1994, Refoli Mokali, she was 24. September 18th, 1994, Rose Magatsi, she was 22. January 1995, Beauty Soko, she was 27. March 3rd, 1995, Sarah Makono, she was 25. April 7th, 1995, Nikiwi Daiko, she was 24. April 12th, 1995, I'm going to really butcher this name because I could not find how to pronounce it, but it's Letta. And then the last name, I'm going to take a guess and say Nalangamandia. We in the United States, if you are listening from another country, we in the United States, we do not have words that have letters next to each. Like we have vowels in every single one of our words. So I'm going to spell this out. There are vowels in her name, but it's just the way that it is. So it is spelled, the last name is spelled Ndlangamandia. So like in the English language, NDL would be like Endol, but that would never be the beginning of a word. So I apologize profusely, but I could not find out how to pronounce that name. But she was 25. On April 20th of 1995, Sibusiso, same last name, 2 years old. This was Letta's son. Now, Letta's son, the reason why this is 8 days later is because Moses injured her son and left him to the elements to die. So that's why he was days later. May 12th, 1995, Esther Menecha, she was 29. May 23rd, 1995, Granny Ramella, she was 21. May 25th, 1995, Elizabeth Mathetsa, she was 19. May 30th, 1995, Mildred Lepule, she's 28. So just right there, it was literally like 2 days and then 5 days. But then there's times in the beginning where there's like 3 months.
Yeah, he went from September to January without anything.
Right. So that's where I also agree there could be some or more. June 13th, 1995, Francina Sithole, she was 25. June 22nd, 1995, Ernestina Mozabo, she was 30. July 14th, 1995, Elsie Masongo, she was 25. July 17th, 1995, Josephine Malangani, she was 25. August 8th, 1995, Oscarina Jacalace, she was 30. August 15th, 1995, Makoba Magatsi, she was 26. September 4th, 1995, Nelisui Zulu, she was 26. September 7th, 1995, Amelia Rapadile, she was 43. September 12th, 1995, Monica Villakazi, she was 31. September 17th, 1995, Hazel Madakazela, she was 21. September 17th, 1995, Sadidi Matella, she was 45. September 17th, 1995, Agnes Mebuli, she was 20. And October 10th, 1995, Beauty Nadabeni. But again, those are just the ones they've been able to identify. There were quite a few unknown that I just didn't put in here because I could tell you the dates, but I couldn't tell you anything else. Now, Moses continued to call that journalist more than one time. So he calls the journalist, tells them, that he's the one and tells them where to find bodies. On the third time that he calls, he gives the journalist the phone number that he's been calling her from. And he's like, you can call me back. Okay, so I'm giving you this phone number. You can call me back. The journalist then calls the police and says, hey, here's the phone number for Moses. He gave it to me. So the police immediately investigate this phone number and they discover that it's a payphone and they go right to the payphone. And they find he obviously is not there, but they know that that was where he was making phone calls from. Now, soon after this, Moses gets in contact with his brother-in-law and he arranges that he's going to meet up with his brother-in-law. However, the brother-in-law calls the police instead. Now, Moses is not stupid because Moses makes the decision to meet up with his brother-in-law, but he's fully aware that there's a chance that his brother-in-law has turned him into the police. And he's fully aware that there's a chance police could be around and they could be setting him up. So he comes to this meeting with his brother-in-law completely prepared. And when the police pull in, or I guess start to walk towards him, when they see him, he runs at the police with an axe. Like he's going to fight till the death. And he is shot twice. He does live and he is taken away in custody.
Well done by not shooting him,
Not killing him.
killing him.
Yeah. So now once Moses is in custody, he's talking to the police and he does end up confessing to the murders. And on December 5th, 1997, he is convicted of 38 murders, 40 rapes, and 6 robberies. He is sentenced to 50 years for each of the 38 murders, 12 years for each of the rapes, and 5 years for each of the robberies. Now, if you can't do the math that quickly, because I know the fuck you can't.
Nope.
The sentences were also to be served consecutively, meaning one after another, which is my favorite way. It's my favorite way. His total number of years he was given in prison, 2,410 years.
Good.
And it was ordered by the judge that Moses would be required to serve 930 years before he could be eligible for parole. So he will
getting out.
He will officially be eligible for parole at the ripe old age of 963. I don't think he's getting out.
Might make it.
Now, he is currently serving his time in Manguang Correctional Center in Bloemfontein, which is obviously somewhere in South Africa. That's the story of Moses Sithole. Would you like the shots?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So Moses has actually said this. He said that going to prison, when he went to prison in his 20s for the rape. Okay, remember I went to prison? Okay. He said that going to prison is what turned him to murder his victims instead of just letting them live.
Because he didn't want to go back to prison.
He claimed that the women that he murdered were one, because he didn't murder. Here's the other thing he claimed is that he raped a lot of women. If you notice, he had 40 rapes and 38 murders. It's because he raped more women than he murdered. And I think he raped way more than 40 women. But he said he murdered the ones who reminded him of the ones who had falsely accused him of rape back in 89, which, by the way, was not false accusations. There was like 3 women. And the third woman came forward and said, "Excuse me, I'd like to report a rape." And the first, like all 3 of them. As a matter of fact, those women that were raped came forward in his trial in 97 and also made sure that they knew that he was a rapist. There's also reports that he would sometimes call the family of the victims and taunt them.
What
Taunt
an evil
them.
jackass.
Say things like, so-and-so won't be home because there was an accident. So-and-so can't come home tonight. Like things like that. Now, after he was arrested, it was discovered that Moses was HIV positive. And that means that all the women that he raped, any woman that he raped that was still alive would be at risk of having HIV.
Yep.
He does today, to this day, he continues to receive treatment in prison for HIV. Okay, so he has HIV positive. Now, it was said, listen, I found this in a couple of resources. I don't know. I'm just going to tell you what I found. It was reported that Moses had a wife and a child. Now, I don't know if he actually had a wife because I only found that in like one resource. But what I did find is that he did get somebody pregnant, and this was not through like rape. It was a relationship type thing or like a consensual thing. Now, according to what I saw, both the woman and the child have now died. And the reason they died was because they were HIV positive.
Yeah.
And they ended up dying from this diagnosis. My guess is it went into AIDS and they died of AIDS. Now, the reason they died was because they did not qualify for healthcare coverage. So how fucked up is that? The man who gave them HIV gets to receive treatment every single day for HIV. And the woman and the baby that are affected did not qualify for health care, therefore did not get treatment. Sounds like the United States, if I'm being honest.
Pretty fucked up.
And this is in South Africa. It sounds like the United States because we have that issue here, but that is interesting. Now, Moses said he had 2 accomplices while he was doing these things. He said, I had 2 accomplices. One was named Tito and one was named Mandela. But the thing is, this added some confusion to the police officers because he went by the alias Mandela when he made a phone call, and he had made a phone call while he was in police custody. Okay, so while he's in police custody, he makes a phone call to one of the victim's family members to taunt them and used the name Mandela, but then turns around and tells the police he has 2 accomplices. Now, Moses also has been quoted saying, and I quote, "I killed 29 women. I don't know where the other 9 came from. If there was blood or injuries, they were not my women." Now, he said this when he was asked, it was kind of like he was in prison and there was a secret recording of him talking to other inmates. They still to this day don't know how the recording device got in. They don't know a lot of that stuff. But when they asked him about it, that's what he says. It was stated multiple times that he did not like the sight of blood. So if any of the women that they found had been maybe like bludgeoned, there's no way he would have done it. That's what he was saying. Now, he also said, quoted again, on this secret recording, he was asked, was there any victim that stood out to him by this inmate that he was talking to? And he said, and I quote, "Amelia Rapidial. She started to fight. I gave her a chance to fight. And I tell her, if you lose, you die. She was using her feet and kicked me." Side note, she had like a black belt. So that's why she was fucking fighting her ass off. "Then she tried to grab my clothes, but she could not grab me. I just tell her, bye-bye."
Yeah, dude's crazy.
And I'm like over here like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And final shot, Moses denied killing any of the women. So he confessed, and then he came back and was like, "I didn't kill any of the women." And he said that the confessions that he gave to the police had been coerced, and that the secretly recorded video of him talking to the inmate and all the information that he had given them, that was full of information that he supposedly was given by the police. The police fed him the information. And so he was just repeating the information they told him.
Right.
And let's not forget, he actually did like go out.
He called and said he had like 70 some odd.
And he also went out and literally showed them where the bodies were.
Yeah.
So you lie, Moses Sithole, also known as Moses Shithole, because that's what his name looks like. I'm not kidding. Here, look at the top. Look at the top of the notes. Tell me that doesn't look like shithole.
Yeah, it looks like shithole to me.
It totally does. Anyways, that's the story. That's the story of Moses Sithole. See, it wasn't so bad. This was a really hard episode for me to record because between my voice sounding like I just like went out and smoked and partied all night long, and then on top of it being so echoey, I'm really distracted. So I know this is not the best recording.
And the heat, and yeah.
The heat's fine. I can deal with that. It's just it's also new and different that I gotta figure it out. But
we'll get there.
If I sound like I'm not enjoying myself today, I promise I am, but it's very strange and I'm not quite comfortable where I'm at. So I'm trying to navigate this new podcast area that's not finished, but also trying to not make it sound too echoey and all the things. So apologies if I wasn't my weird, normal, totally fucking off the wall, quirky self. I will get better. It's a lot. And Jay hardly talked. And that's probably also why, because we're trying to navigate this new area and we're sitting in chairs that we've never sat in before. We have a whole new setup and it's just, we're not quite sure, but we like literally just got this setup yesterday. I was like, we have to record today. Like we don't have a choice. So I
give
promise,
us the weekend. We'll get better.
We're good. Everything's good. I feel like as I was reading, I was like, I just feel like I'm not putting any emotion behind it like I normally do because the echo is bugging the shit out of me and I got to fix the echo. And I don't even know if you guys will hear the echo. So if you don't hear an echo, great. If you do, apologies. I will get it fixed as soon as possible. You can always follow us on all of our socials, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. We have Fatal Blend on all of those accounts. We also have our Patreon, which is patreon.com/Fatal Blend. Follow us on all of those things. If you like the episodes, if you like listening to us, and if you're new and this is your first episode and you're like, ooh, that kind of sucked, don't listen to this episode. Go back like 2 or 3. You will hear a much better version of Jay and I.
Yes.
I promise you. You will hear a much better version of Jay and I. But right now, I'm just trying to navigate. And so that is where we're at with it. As always, thank you so much for your support. We had a killer Monday. this week. I showed Jay. We had a shit ton of downloads.
Yeah, we did.
And
Thank
I was
you,
like,
thank
good
you.
girl. And some of the people that downloaded, y'all know who you are because some of you, I know who you are. So thank you for the support. We genuinely appreciate it. We love what we do and we're going to continue to do it. We just got to get our podcast room set up. And like Jay said, when we're officially set up and done, I will definitely take a picture so you guys can see what we're working with. And I'll take a picture of what we used to work with. I'll show the comparisons because we do have the bed we used to be on.
Yep.
It's just now an actual guest bed. It's no longer the podcast/guest bed. And it's in the Disney room. We are now located in the Star Wars room. Podcasting room is the Star Wars room. So with that being said, I just want to thank you one more time for listening to us tell you the story about Moses Sithole, also known as Moses Shithole, but really he was nicknamed the ABC murderer. Until next week, goodbye.
Bye-bye, shithole.
Remember to lock your doors and bar your windows. Until next time.